Hello, welcome to Drupal Care tutorial. This tutorial is to show you how to install your live site on your local. So you have Drupal installed on your live site and you pretty much wanted to create a local environment. As you see, I have 4 sites here installed on the live site, and what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna install these live sites on my local. So I hope there is some requirement and there is some steps. We'll follow it. The requirement before you start this tutorial, it's you have already live site installed. You have Drush installed on your machine, and you have Drush connected to your SQL. The steps, first step, we will start download all the live files. What it means, I mean all your Drupal files. If you go to your Drupal sites, so it's gonna be very much like this. This is what you're gonna download. You're gonna download everything on your local machine, and you will put it inside your document road, where is this directory. You create any name you like. As you see here, I created my sites. You pick any name you like, just drop Drupal here, and then inside sites, that's where we're gonna create all of our sites. So that's the first step. The second step, you download your database. You grab your database, same thing from outside, either through PHP admin or SQL Pro or any software you prefer. Number 3, create your local database, which is same thing. It's very easy. If you go to your PHP admin and then you create your database, which is gonna be here. You go to your database, and I'm gonna now create 4 database for each site. I have the names for them. Just pick for the first site, alaa.com, and whereas we have to pick the specific, and then create, and just I'm gonna create the second database, create the third database, create, and the fourth database, create. That's the steps. I created just 4 empty databases, and create local Drupal sites, rename the directory. So if I go now, after I download the files, this is how you download the files. And inside sites, you should see either you have one site installed or multi-site installs. In my case, I have multi-site installs. So this is what's for Alaa Haddad. I change it to the same domain name I'm gonna use on my local machine. So I created I renamed the file. Instead of alaahaddad.com, I renamed it to ah.local. This is for the first site. The second site, it's flashwebcenter.com. The third, drupalcare.com. The fourth is webdesigner wda.local. Inside each site, when you download, or just one site, in your case, if you have multi-sites, again, or one site, you go inside default, and you should have, if you have just one site, you should have a setting.php. In my case, I have multi-site, so I go inside ah.local, I have setting.php. This is when I'm changing the setting from the live site to the new databases I created. I open the 4 settings.php in my software editor, which is here. That's what I used. And inside the connection for the database for each site, I'm going to change to the database I renamed, the username, the password. That's it. That's what you need pretty much to change on your setting.php. For each site, you will do the exact thing. For each site, I did the exact thing. I changed it. And then number 5, create local domain. The local domain, which is the host inside host, and that's what I created. I have for each site ah.local, fwc.local, wda.local, dc.local. These are 4 local domains. I create them, and at the same time I created for vhost configuration for each site. I'm not going through this. This is just the setting, a regular setting for each domain, WDA, DC. For each site, you create one of these. So if you have one site, you will create one of these. You will change these settings to match with your configuration. And then we open our terminal, and inside our terminal, when you download, I hope you download the files with the database. That's mean the files, everything on the left side with the database, you grab it. The database I downloaded, in my case, this is the one I downloaded, which is, there is ah.sql for each site. I download the database. So I'm just gonna go and cd, go into this directory, the first site directory, which is alaahaddad.com, but the local one on my local machine. So I'm going to this site directory, sites, my sites, sites ah.local, and if I just rush to make sure it's working, that's everything. Here it is. So I'm gonna upload the database, rush SQL SQL Connect, files ah. That's how much you need. It should upload the database, and then you drush RR, and then drush CC all. You will do the exact step for all the sites. It takes time. It depends on the size of the database you have. It may take 1 minute. It may take 10 minutes. So and then drush RR, just rebuild. That's another module. You could download it and install it through drush. If you don't have drush RR, and then drush CC all, you clear all cache. And I'm just now gonna go and view the site, and you will see the local site. This is the live site. This is now ah.local. This is my local site. So if I'm going to change it in the theme or doing any work in the development or anything, now it will be on this site now. And I will do the exact thing for each site. For first look, you think your site is broken, but it is just because of the files. Because everything was so I'm just gonna log in now. We'll log to the site, and after you log to the site, you go and you change the file directory, and you unzip the compressed files. There is a like now on the side, as you see. If I do just /admin, so we need to locate the file, the file system, which is copy, as you see, this directory. you just change this one because this is different than the live site and the local. And I'm just save configuration. That's it. See now the site. Another thing, you could go and unzip the files, the compressed files for your live sites. And if I visit now my live site, it should be exactly identical. That's the local site. This is the live site. There's the local site. It has the exact thing. You will need to clear cache the images. See now you don't see the images because on the live site it's inside. So if you go configuration, development, or media file system, this one, that's another thing you need to change. To the directory name, you changed AH, and save configuration, and I never heard to clear cache again. ah.local, not .com. It's .local, ah.local, because that's what I have my files in. It depends on if you put your files inside the default, you would change this to site default. Whatever domain name you created, whatever the files directory you put them in, that's what you have to change it to. If you want to see the images on the site, you see it now. You should see now the images on the sites, exactly like the live site. See, this is now the live site. And this is the local site. This will happen, this method will happen to all the sites I have. Exactly. So if I go now to the other side, and rush SQLC files, that's the database I got, and I'm uploading now the database for the second site. We'll have the same step. This is the easiest way to create your local environment. So by this way, if you want to change or redo anything on your theme, it'll be easy for you to update. I hope you liked the tutorial, and I guess I will see you in some other tutorials.